So the person who was on the racetrack in an unusual position, certainly this year, Lewis Hamilton on the podium, started from fourth, which was his best qualifying position of the year. Difficult to believe I'm saying that out loud. Second podium of the year. I'm going to be controversial here, Bob, and say that the only reason that Lewis Hamilton actually was really as happy as he looked was that he both qualified and finished the race ahead of his teammate, and finished the race ahead of his teammate for the first time since, I think, the opening round in Bahrain. Do you think I'm right about that? You know Lewis better than most.
I think he was a lot happier with the car. The car on the Friday had a lot of experimental stuff on it. They went a funny direction in terms of experiments, in terms of setup, that sort of thing. And then, obviously, the wet qualifying, the wet Saturday was a bit of a wild card. And all of a sudden, they put together a really much better car for Lewis on Sunday. And he found himself in a car that he could really race. And I think that was the difference. The car was just a completely different being to what it had been on Friday, was so much better. He really felt he had something that resembled what he's been used to in the past couple of seasons, past few years, for the first time. And I think that's what really made the difference for him. Sure, he was happy that he'd beaten his teammate. Sure, he was happy to be on the podium. But I think he was also very happy to have the car he wanted.
Of course, we mustn't forget he was flattered, or Mercedes were flattered, weren't they, by the fact that Red Bull and Ferrari kindly removed one each of their cars from the competition through power unit issues and the subsequent grid penalty for Ferrari and Leclerc and Sergio Perez's gearbox failure we talked about earlier. Alex, what did you think about Lewis and actually about, of course, George Russell as well?
I thought he had another strong race, to be honest. Okay, it wasn't, especially in the closing stages, it wasn't quite as quick as Hamilton. Hamilton pulled out a gap just after the safety car. But it's Lewis Hamilton at Canada. I think he's won Canada 7 times. It's a crazy amount of times. He won his first race there. Hamilton's pretty much untouchable. There are a few tracks that Hamilton's untouchable at. He's won at all the tracks, but a few tracks he's untouchable at. One is Canada, one is America. And pretty much 90% of the time also in Hungary, So I really thought that he would be strong this weekend. But back to Russell. Yeah, Russell in the very beginning, so strong. Those opening laps, he chose his moments well. He overtook really well. So to get onto the back of Hamilton, I thought he was very impressive. This young man is continuing to impress me. This man shows that special something that tells me that one day he could be a world champion. And it's exciting to watch. And he's pushing Hamilton like mad. And Hamilton, I think, is starting to realize that, wow, he's going to really have to bring his A game if he's going to compete with his younger teammate.
We should mention, Bob, shouldn't we, that George Russell, 24 years of age, decided in qualifying in Q3, final run, to put on slick tyres, despite a massive kind of swimming pool puddle at turn 1. What did you think when you saw that?
Brave, perhaps, or foolhardy, somewhere between the two, very close. I was a bit worried about that. I think I was inevitably going to be worried about it. It was a gamble, Drivers are like that, I think. Alex, wouldn't you say so? You must have done a few things like that in your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely it was a gamble. I mean, no one else thought about doing it. But I think, Russell, you could tell. That's another thing about Russell. He's impatient to show that he's a champion in the making, isn't he? It won't be enough that he's just beating what is arguably the greatest driver in all time in Formula One's history. That's not going to be enough. No, he wants to win races. He wants to win championships, and he thinks he deserves it. So yeah, in the end it was foolhardy, but if it paid off, wow, he'd be looking like a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm enjoying the fact that when they talk, both Lewis now, but certainly George since the start of the year, always making reference to his performance relative to his teammate, because he knows that's the bar that we all respect so much.